Hello, everyone. This is Kovork and Jay here from Major League Crypto. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome back, guys. It is Wednesday, and we're going to be doing our YouTube live stream as always. So what are the coins we're going to be talking about today, Kovork?
This week, we are going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, New Economy Movement, IOTA, and NEO.
New Economy Movement, which is
XEM.
NEM.
Yeah, ZEM and NEM. It's
ZEM and NEM.
Yeah.
The ticker is ZEM, called
XEM.
NEM.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, but whatever. There's weird names in crypto.
I feel like X is a big letter for crypto.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
XMR, XRP.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, as long as coins kind of move away from using the word coin on it, I think that's better overall.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, because not everything is used as like a strict currency anymore. Like those tokens and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool seeing at least a little bit more creativity in the name.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing coin because coin makes me think that I'm gonna go out and purchase. Coin makes me think I'm gonna go out and purchase something, but realistically, a lot of these are actually investment opportunities in different technologies.
Sure, they're tokens of participation in their like business or framework or ecosystem.
The good thing is, guys, everybody gets a participation trophy, and that's why cryptocurrency participation tokens are where it's at. Exactly. So what do you want to start off with? Any specific coin, or let's break down some of the bigger news events this week?
So basically, finally, my prayers have been answered. We're getting some new platforms we could buy cryptocurrencies through besides Coinbase. The big ones being Square Cash and Robinhood, which is awesome.
So Robinhood is separate from Robinhood, is that correct?
Yeah, Robinhood is just, they're just taking the name, they're running with it, 0% fees, etc., etc. But there were rumors that Robinhood was going to adopt cryptos, and I was waiting for that because I know they would do it right because I really like their platform. So
I thought that was kind of interesting that because when the Robinhood first came off, it was an obvious ripoff of Robinhood. They had the same idea. They had the same name pretty much with a different letter in the front.
Sure, even their UI looks kind of similar a little bit.
So has there been a date released as far as what they're estimating? Because this is, in my opinion, going to be the next catalyst that is going to bring new money to the market. There's a lot of people sitting around that got money in Robinhood and want to put it to work. Yeah,
so I believe they're trying to do it by the end of February, but initially it's only supposed to be for the first 5 states. So
first 5 states.
I mean 5 states initially. Then it'll move out for there.
So were they going in the order of the union or population? So what are the first 5 states in the union?
Not first 5 states in the union. Yeah. But let me try to see here. So they got 1 million people to join the wait list. And I have here beginning in February, although service will initially only be available in just 5 states. And for some reason, CNBC is not giving me the list. I know for sure Illinois is not in it. Okay, here we go. California, Massachusetts, Missouri, Montana, and New Hampshire.
Very interesting state choices.
Yeah, really. I mean, I was kind of shy to see Cali first. Honestly, I was thinking.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest onload of user base. Obviously, it's the largest populous state, so you figured they probably have the most cryptocurrency traders. And I do think it's just more popular on the West Coast in general.
True. Fair enough. I knew we were going to see like Illinois, New York, and stuff like that, but it's surprising to see like Montana. Something like that. Massachusetts, I would say, all right,
Outside of some of the bigger mines starting to get set up in Montana, I cannot think of a reason why they would choose Montana other than I think it is like one of the least populous states. Yeah, they just have they have 1.2 million people in Montana. Yeah, they just cracked 1 million, yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, for them, it's probably like they're more libertarian-minded anyway. They really don't care about regulation.
They hate the federal government.
Yeah. I mean, New York has not been good to Bitcoin users. If people are aware, who's that one individual? The guy who just joined the Ripple group. He's the one that started the BIT legislation for New York years ago. He was on Making a Bitcoin documentary.
So he created legislation, left his job, and then became a lobbyist to figure out how to get around his own legislation. Genius chess move, however, total scumbag.
Yeah, and he joined the Ripple board back in November. So yeah, that's why stuff like Robinhood won't launch in somewhere like New York this early. But it's interesting. More than 1 million people signed. That's a lot of people. Even though I believe they say they're only going to list like 13 coins, like in the mid-teens coins, nothing too obscure.
That's a decent amount for a U.S.-based platform.
To start off.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
So obviously we could speculate on what those coins will be.
No, they've released the list.
Oh, they've released a list.
So it's like
so this is going to be interesting. I want to know this list, and you guys should pay attention to this information.
Like Zcash was in there. Let me see here. For some reason, it's not showing on CNBC. Robinhood coins. Okay. But yeah, talking about Robinhood more, like it's just really good because now we have the option of not just having Coinbase to buy it through, right? Because now you have Square and they'll expand to buy more coins. The way I heard the format's going to be for Robinhood is that you would buy the coins, like you'd buy, let's just say Bitcoin initially, right? To get into it, you won't get those coins immediately. So it's kind of like Coinbase still. You still have to wait for your coins to come in too, which is not the best thing, but
don't the transactions have to process anyway, regardless of if you're buying the coins or not?
What, through USD initial, or are you talking
about
just
between? through the miners? They have to verify the transactions. Doesn't that take a certain amount of time?
Actually, Jack, 99% of exchanges, I don't think there's any exchange actually that, I think besides Ether Delta being like completely Ethereum based, exchanges do not run through blockchain, through their respective blockchain. So for instance, if I was going to trade Bitcoin for Ethereum, for example, none of those transactions get actually listened to a blockchain. It's all done in-house. That's why the thing like Mt. Gox happened, right? Mt. Gox was that big failure.
Out of Japan,
right? Japan, right? Mt. Gox exchange. All those transactions where people were buying Bitcoin through, right? They weren't actually, let's say, they weren't actually getting the Bitcoin, right? It was going through the exchange. The exchange promises you it, right? Because the exchange is like, all right, you get this much. The reason why I worked for so long is because there's so much new money coming in, and Bitcoin was going higher, 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 higher. But the moment it dipped, they couldn't keep up with that demand. So when the price dips,
they never actually had the Bitcoins?
A lot of them, no. A lot of them didn't.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's why we're trying to say billions of dollars were like removed. Just completely suspect stuff that was happening there.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, that's why people are saying Poloniex was kind of Poloniex was not. There's speculation that Poloniex was part of that too back in like April, May time. And yeah, it's still a big fear. You know, that's something I fear about. You know, if something really big did happen in cryptocurrencies and people were leaving and trying to pull out all their funds at the same time, what would happen? Because you don't know if the exchanges have all those coins, you know, like in there. We just don't know that. You know, that's why things like Robinhood, even though it's trying to be a copy of Robinhood for cryptos.
So what
they're trying to be? Let me just finish this. Okay. They're trying to be decentralized completely. So they basically want algos to run it instead of people down the line. So that's gonna be pretty interesting.
I thought that when you bought or sold a Bitcoin, it was the transaction was validated through the blockchain.
Only when you pull out of the wallet.
Okay.
Yep. So
if you're transferring wallet to wallet, though, does that
yes.
Okay. So technically, if I am moving my coin from Coinbase to Binance, that needs to process through the blockchain.
Yes. So there's actually areas you could see that. So like in Binance, there's an area you could check to see like open orders, like either deposit or withdrawal, and it'll say network confirmations. So that's the blockchain doing its job. So it has to confirm over a certain amount. Then from there, it will confirm, and then you'll have it in your accounts. But that's only when you actually when you receive or you deposit or withdraw coins. But actually within its own within its own exchange, it will not register in the blockchain.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's like a huge thing. That's why a lot of the buzz in the
so the coin
space,
then the broker is just holding the coin technically, and they're not, because they're just wow. So they're almost then market makers in a sense if they're holding the risk of the coin and not transferring it out. Oh, okay, I see it, because it's on this specific exchange, because this is totally different than
that's
stock.
why you get the arbitrage too, right?
Yes. Okay.
So like think about this: if all the exchanges were part of the blockchain,
so the exchanges don't actually ever swap coins unless there is a purchase like done outside or the coin moves outside.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, they say they have their own miners. Some of them they just buy it, you know, and they have it in reserve. But a lot of these exchanges don't expect everyone's going to pull out at the same time. That's how Mt. Gox got screwed, and all that. So if something happened with Poloniex, I think a lot of the money already left Poloniex. I think Poloniex is pretty much a dying exchange, but you know, who knows what will happen with that once all those coins will get pulled, because something in crypto, like we know, if it's sudden, everyone's gonna be running for the door. So what happens if everyone runs for the door at the same time? For example, let's talk about Syscoin. I believe is on a Poloniex too, right? So if Syscoin, right, smaller coin, right? Smaller coin. Who knows what the quantity is on the actual exchange? Everyone's like, all right, I want to pull mine out. Maybe switch it to Bitrex or a wallet. If everyone does that at the same time for all these coins, yeah, Poloniex might have all these Bitcoins in reserve because everyone pulls profit usually in like Bitcoin or Ethereum or like the higher volume coins. But the things that will break the exchange is if they don't have the supply, and that's what it boils down to.
Okay, I see. That makes a lot more sense to me now. Let's see. Take a look at some of these YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I lost my YouTube thing. Here you are. All right. So yeah, you can go to the Bitcoin chart if you'd like.
So let's check to see what's going on with Bitcoin. It's been chill around 10K.
The floor right now is 10K. So right now Bitcoin is just still in a consolidation period. I do think if we get below, there's obviously a lot of people interested in buying this 10K level. That's pretty much the low to high divided by 2. That is that halfway back, and it continues to hold. However, we've had a series of lower highs and lower lows. And right now, there is support here that is a potential trade if you are wanting to go long this support level. However, I believe that really unless Bitcoin can make a new swing high, it is going to head down to the 80. I have targets down to like 8,000 on the lower end. That is like a $2,000 drop from here. And I do think if that did happen, we'd come back very quickly. Because really what it would be is if we broke this 10K level, it's going to start bringing in some fear from a trading perspective. Everyone is going to kind of puke it out. All the major dips we've seen in Bitcoin to new support levels have been recovered. And really those have been the best trading opportunities, and they don't last long.
Yeah, and I'm still thinking the next wave of institutional money is going to come in soon, and I still think Bitcoin's going to take a good amount of chunk out of that.
You think the money's going to move into Bitcoin?
Yeah, historically, if you look at the charts, February is a very bullish month for cryptocurrencies, and I think the next wave, Bitcoin will still like absorb that amount.
Maybe that's because people get paid their bonuses in February and then they take it and dump it into Bitcoin.
I mean, a lot of people, it just makes sense. People were like, we were having that discussion last week. January cryptos fall, end of December, January, because people are just pulling profit, buying their girlfriend something nice, et cetera, et cetera. So, this is expected. January is a pretty bearish month overall for a lot of things, especially the U.S. economy.
Well, good thing it's almost over because I am sweating my positions.
Yeah, I just want the weather to be warmer. I'm more excited for that, to be honest, living in Chicago. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff is coming up. Bitcoin, I still think it's worse in area consolidation. It might dip below. I think it might reach down to 8,700. I'm thinking, or 8,500. I think is the lowest. I don't know if it'll dip below 8,500. That's kind of like my lower support range on for me.
Fair enough. And if you want to pull up the chart here, I'll just kind of go over some things, Aaron. So right now, what you guys want to be paying attention to for Bitcoin for it to get back in a bull trend, so to speak, is we just need a higher high. That's it. We just need to prove that there is more interest in buying than selling. And right now, we haven't really been able to do that. You're looking at an hourly chart. If we break this out, I'm going to go to a weekly chart. So what each one of these candlesticks represents is a week of time here. And let me just scroll this in here.
Halfway back.
Yeah, I'm new to these charts. So I look. All right, here we are. So all we've done here is since the highs going back to December, we obviously had a major correction, failed to take out those highs. This week had a lower low and a lower high. The following week had a lower high. This is the only week since that high, this first, what is that? I think that's the first actually week of January. That is the only week since that high that has not either had a lower high or a lower low. So lower high, lower low, lower high. This week had neither. This week, lower high and a lower low. This week, lower high and a lower low. And then this was an inside week with a lower high. And the current week we're in does have a lower low than the previous week. So one thing to just look for, and we'll let you know when it's happening if you're watching our YouTube, is when we get that reversal, when we get a higher high or higher low from the previous week, to me, that'll be a sign that at least at that point in time, the selling has ceased to happen. I do think a lot of people, as anytime you get lower, people get fearful and they continue to sell. And that's why almost you have to get to the point where there's just nobody left to sell, because every new buyer at these levels that doesn't get a new high is underwater on their position, and then they're selling. And we want the people that are taking new positions to like puke at lows, because that means they're weak hands, right? So the weak hands, when they sell and they're out of the market, it is much clearer to move up. That's when you break out of these all-time highs like we had here. The market just flies because everybody's happy and nobody's selling.
Yeah, and each wave of institutional money that comes in, they're not going to buy Bitcoin high. They're going to wait for it to really settle down before flooding the market back in.
How's my 5K Bitcoin going? I sold it on, I think it was Sunday night or Monday night. I forgot. I sold it at like 11 something.
Yeah, for me personally, it's like I really don't like to sell my crypto positions completely. I've moved into Tether before, but we'll talk about USD Tether and the other Tethers, what's going on with that. But for me, I just like move around my coins to see which ones are more bullish relation to Bitcoin. I would love to put in Tether more, but right now Tether is going through kind of a shaky thing, and we could transition into that.
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on with
so basically probably the biggest news over here is let me pull up. The CFTC sends subpoenas to Bitfinex and Tether. So basically what happened was Bloomberg said that CFTC had sent queries to both companies. Let me highlight this. Citing an unnamed source, Bloomberg said that the CFTC had sent queries to both companies. The news comes days after CoinDesk reported that Tether's relationship with auditing firm Friedman LLC had dissolved, though it still remains unclear which party moved to curtail the work. Friedman had been working on an audit with Tether, which is closely linked to the British Virgin Islands-based Bitfinex. So basically what this shows is, you know what, I understand for Tether, at least, especially because you're creating crypto that's basically mimicking the US dollar.
Yeah.
The CFTC to go for that. But for me, Bitfinex is kind of like the odder one, right? Because there's no US users on Bitfinex unless they're using a VPN at this point. So I don't know.
What about the users that were in Bitfinex before they transitioned, or did they completely shut everybody off?
I'm sorry. I was reading a comment.
Did the users completely get shut out of Bitfinex?
Yeah, I mean there was
the US users.
Yeah, US users are done in Bitfinex, and JC David was Y2K was asking, isn't the US regulators investigating Tether and BitConnect? There's another thing with BitConnect, and we'll talk about basically one of the death knell blows to it, in my opinion. It's not good news. But yeah, it's Tether and Bitfinex are the specific ones for the CFTC. So basically, Tether is supposed to be backed by a certain amount of money. I think it's 1 point some billion through a company, and that's supposed to be backing the Tether, right? So, but the thing is, they said that the CFTC, this was early in December when they filed this.
Okay.
So if it was that early, it's been a month, and there must be some sort of like news going around that Tether might be shut down. But if it's been going for over a month now, from early December to now, and Tether's still
takes a while to unwind a Ponzi scheme. I mean, it took like 15 years for Bernie Madoff to get caught. I have no idea.
But BitConnect fell like almost immediately.
Yeah, like, BitConnect fell, but everybody knew it was bullshit.
But the thing is, like Tether's no joke right now on market cap. It's, I don't know why before. Like if I go to Coin Market Cap over here, and let's just look at really quick before we move on. Bitcoin dominance is at 33.3%.
Keeping track of it.
And Tether is number 23rd right now. So I'm not sure due to the auditing, because before, this is always I found kind of weird. The market cap for Tether was hovering around, let's say like 18 to 15 million dollars, which is really odd. Around January 2017, but it really started cranking up to till now, which is like 2.2 billion. So it's been rising up, but it's kind of weird because it's just tied to the US dollar. So the market cap's kind of odd how they decide that. There's not, the transparency isn't there. So Tether's a little suspect. We'll see how that turns off, but I hope so. I hope Tether is good, or if Tether gets shut down, they have a replacement for it. because it's very useful to use that to park profit, right? Because if you just have your Bitcoin to other alt currency pairs, you could like lose money that way too, right? So you make a trade, you make a little bit, you put in Bitcoin, but you don't want to pull out or cash out. So you live in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin could drop 20% out of nowhere, So
yeah. I mean, obviously, I do think so these bigger ones are. I mean, the volatility is still 10%.
JC David, is that CoinMarketCap? Yeah, we're using CoinMarketCap. It's probably the best information overall. They give you all the sources for all the information, like markets and pairs and stuff. So for me, I just look at that. But right now, let's just hope Tether is all right. Even if it gets like kind of shut down, I don't think it'll affect the market. I don't think it's going to be that crazy. But it'll definitely, the market will take a hit from it. But yeah, hopefully recovers, because I want to park profits and not leave the market, because I don't want to wait a week to buy more Bitcoin.
It does take, someone was asking me about, so my original plan was to sell at 13 and 15,000 when I bought that Bitcoin position. It hit 13K, like right up to it. The same week, didn't have my coin yet.
Yeah, that's a problem. Exactly. So for me, it's like Jack sold out. I already had a large of my position, because I do trade and I do hodl some coins and cold storage. I'm not going to go out, sell it, and wait a week and try to get that money back, and the price goes up and I get it at a worse price. For something like that, I have to. These won't be problems in the future as we move on and more solutions come out. But for now, Tether was the best choice. I'm not going to go in Tether right now because it's too shaky. The future is unknown. And I'd rather just ride it with other alt currencies. I think pair well with Bitcoin when Bitcoin is going down. Things like NEO usually stabilizes.
Well, the problem is Tether services one sole purpose, and that is just to be related to the U.S. dollar. And if apparently their auditing firm, for whatever reasons are unknown, left the project, that to me is,
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the legality is of trying to replicate, the U.S. value in something else. Like, this is like new territory. There's no is it counterfeit at that point? I have no idea, honestly. That's just some crazy legality. I always thought that might be an issue, because why the government's going to be like, wait a minute, why is there like literally Tether for USD, right? This crypto altcoin, it's technically an altcoin, represents the US dollar.
That's our dollar. You can't represent it.
Exactly. It's a representation. That's all it's about. Yeah, so that's basically what's been going on with Tether and Bitfinex. To me, Bitfinex is another exchange. A lot more can come up. I don't know why they're in the first place. Maybe they're subpoenaing to get information on users. Has probably made a killing over the past couple of years on Bitfinex.
Oh yeah.
So they're probably getting data collection, because no one's in it now. So they're probably going after some big players, trying to get some of that sweet tax money. So that's my thoughts behind Bitfinex.
They want to know where your money is.
So
Watch out for that big bad boy government. What do we want to look at?
Yeah, let's move on to Ethereum, Jack.
Okay, Ethereum chart. So this is a great looking chart still. Ethereum did have a nice smack out of the $1,400 level all the way back to $800. But most recently, I want to go ahead and say, like, this is a pretty looking chart. Right now, we continue to have higher highs and higher lows channeling up here. Also, we have just held a 50% retracement that traded, I want to say it was like just after the open yesterday. So the low going back to the swing in, I think that was the 17th of January. So that swing low when we sold off down to that 800 level has, we made a new high after that. We got above the resistance. Obviously, if you look at this chart compared to Bitcoin just moving its way down. We look at Ethereum, it's moving its way up. Ethereum, I'm a much bigger fan of than Bitcoin right now. Also, I saw that there was somebody had bought like $150 or $175 million property to do some kind of Ethereum project in Nevada.
We have no idea what the hell's going on with that either.
So I talked to some guys I know are pretty big in the crypto space out there, and they said it's a couple of Canadians, So,
Canadians.
Yeah, Canadians, wow. So apparently they're also doing a project in Montana. They said they're running like 25,000 servers starting in Nevada and 50,000 in Montana. Wow. So that is what my sources tell me that I cannot disclose.
Once again, more and more institutional money is coming in, even though it's not directly into making cryptos or buying cryptos via trading. It's about the creation,
the interest of it.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't get that kind of money just laying around. That is institutional investors who are looking to get serious. There's also some portfolio manager at BlackRock Capital, which is one of the largest asset managing firms, has just left BlackRock to actually start his own Bitcoin hedge fund or be the manager of a Bitcoin hedge fund. Once again, institutional order flow, institutional players coming into the market.
That's why I look at it, because like some of these smaller coins, like this one, website called VK.com, which is basically, I was talking about like the Russian Facebook, right? Those guys, the CTO of that company left to start Black Moon Financial, to make Black Moon crypto. So they're basically trying to make a hedge fund that connects traditional assets, financial assets, and they're trying to link it to the crypto world. So they're trying to have both for people. And it's like stuff like that. People are just leaving these big institutional companies and they're trying to create their own little niche in the cryptocurrency sphere, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. What else? So yeah, I mean, right now with this current swing target, we do target up off this 50% retracement that traded literally yesterday. Perfect to the tick. Anytime I see a move come off that level to the tick, that makes me have a lot of confidence in there, because there's heavy buyers for us to trade the level to the tick. There's computer programs attached to that. Institutional traders who understand these strategies are using it as well. Its upside profit target is 1379, which really brings us right back up into this zone. So I do think Ethereum is headed back to those highs. If you're a hodler, hodl, but if you're a trader and you're looking for move up there, I'd be looking to take profit, really starting into this consolidation zone between 1340 to 1375. So there's a roughly a 20 or 35 point range there that I do think we'll see some resistance. But right now Ethereum continues to look good. The current support is at $1,025. As long as that continues to hold, the trend is intact. The long trend head will not be violated unless we get really below 960. So above 960, Ethereum continues its bull trend. Its brother Bitcoin, however, needs to get back above really the $12,000 level before I'm interested in buying pullbacks, or I will buy the flash crash that I think potentially could happen. You really just got to have, or if you want to get in Bitcoin, you really just got to have an order sitting out there waiting at 8K. I think we could get as low as we would get, and it would probably be a split second, maybe 7,700. And you're not gonna see that trade until it's over. So if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, even if it's just $50 worth for a longer term hold, that is my support level, that if we do break down, what it'll be is scared traders getting out of the market, and then we should shoot back higher. Just like when we tested that 10K level, we ran up to 13. That's a 30% return that literally happened in a period of like 3 to 5 days. 30% turn in 3 to 5 days. But the key is waiting for those levels to trade. 8,000 to 7,600 is really the support level I would be looking for.
Yeah, and even though I kind of bash at Ethereum at times, there's just so many tokens that are being made for with a lot of companies that there's kind of like that burden of performance for Ethereum. Like it has to work,
Yeah,
else everyone's going to start jumping ship and switching to other blockchains.
That's interesting. So because there's so many companies because to me that would also make
tokens
take me think, there's so many tokens built on the Ethereum blockchain that it almost has more traders invested in keeping the price moving higher, because if the price moves higher, like if you look back into like old school manipulation, like before the SEC really became a thing, stock manipulation back in like the early 20th century, we're talking 1920 to 1910, what people would do is they would get pools and they would just literally prop up companies using their stock price, because they could control that much of a flow, and they have an interest in keeping the company higher. That obviously is legal right now in Ethereum, and that actually makes me understand probably why that this coin continues to trend higher, while Bitcoin really, which is just technically a store of value.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, how can you forecast that, right, to make it illegal for something like Ethereum? Like that burden of performance that has to work as so many tokens are being made in it. Like that's it's just an interesting thing. We've never been here for that.
Yeah. Well, it's just the traders are holding up the support levels more than anything. But
I mean, do you expect those people building stuff in Nevada, Montana to expect Ethereum to go back down to like $500 and stay there?
Yeah, no. And they're investing so much money in the things they do. I'm sure they're buying Ethereum on what they would consider to be fair value or whatever.
Honest Reviews commented, have either of you heard about Polymath? Seems to be a bunch of hype. Yeah, I've seen some advertisements on Polymath. I think they're a securities token, I believe. And yeah, for that, I think they're having their own meeting or group. I got to see the turnout behind that to see what's going to do, because something like Polymath, they claim like they have like one of the biggest Telegram groups and stuff like that. I don't care about stuff like that. I just care to see how it's gonna be used and if people actually adopt it. So
they
I got
a good name, sounds fancy.
Yeah,
Polymath.
I mean they have that Poly Con, I think it's called. So they're gonna have that. I'll see what players are at it, and from there I'll judge it. That's why a lot of these smaller coins are these newer ones. I'll read the idea. The idea seems good, like a securities token. But I still have to see like what entities are going to try to be evolved or what type of names and stuff. So I just know the gist of it. Haven't done too much of a research behind it, but that's definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, it does. Kendall says it sounds like a Pokemon. I agree. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
I'm trying to catch all the cryptos, man. Besides
catch it. The cryptos are much more profitable than the Pokemon. I actually was holding on to my Pokemon cards until recently, when I had a gentleman tell me that his kid loved Pokemon cards, I gave away 6. I thought they were gonna hold their value.
Oh, some of them did. I think that was a Charizard. Like the first edition is worth a couple $100 though.
Damn it! Gave that one away.
But you know what? A lot of people don't know. I think Mount Gox was created around that one card, Magic the Gathering.
Really?
Yeah. So Mount Gox was
that's
really from
right.
Magic the Gathering.
I did hear about that.
And a lot of people, like, the idea is that, like, the way that people look into cryptocurrencies, like, I read somewhere, like, it's kind of like how people view, like, trading card games and stuff like that. The values. Which one performs better, which card is better, which crypto is better, which is pretty interesting. And it's kind of interesting to see that Bitcoin, like, the first biggest exchange, Mount Gox, was based upon that Magic the Gathering server, basically, which is interesting.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most expensive Magic card, like, goes for, like, I don't know, it's got to be up there, like, tens of thousands of dollars.
$200,000 maybe.
Who knows? But regardless, like,
anyone here play Magic?
Yeah, so
I had friends in grade school, I think, were into that, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to see that,
Yeah, that is hilarious.
There's probably a lot of rich Magic players now from the whole Mount Gox
I bet
stuff.
They sold early.
Or they just got their cryptos taken when it shut down. Or that. So that's funny. So, yeah, there's that.
Good stuff. All right, let's move on to the next coin, which I actually, this one
was it New Kami Movements next?
Neo-Nemi. So talk about the hack. So this was some big news this week. Every time I come on this show, it's like it's been a week. And I come on and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much stuff has happened.
So keep the chart up. I'll just read what's been going on with this. Yeah, so much stuff happens all the time. So as Cointelegraph reported on January 26, 534 million worth of XCM were stolen from low security hot wallet that lacked multi-signature security measures. Now, what that basically means is a hot wallet is basically it's like classifications for how their coins are stored, right? So hot wallets, basically, they're all centralized in one area. A lot of access back, front and forward. I mean, back and forward. Like it's a lot more of an open system, but you kind of need that for an exchange. Like all exchanges are basically a hot wallet. Yeah. Because it's just like the risk is there. So if the exchange goes down, you don't have the private key, you're pretty much screwed. So they say 534 million worth of it was stolen during a press conference covered by Cointelegraph. CoinCheck, which was the exchange, it was a Japanese exchange. Executives stated that all the funds were stored in a hot wallet or an online wallet, which, yes, it was, which left users' funds vulnerable to a security breach. Shortly after the press conference, NEM representatives and its open source development community firmly opposed the idea of conducting a hard fork to prevent user funds on a centralized cryptocurrency exchange from being recovered. So, yes, that's good. We don't want a hard fork for stuff like this. Like what happened with Ethereum that turned into Ethereum Classic when Ethereum forked off. Just because of the DAO hack, they forked off. Even though it's not the coin's fault it got hacked, it's the exchange's fault.
So I want to know where in the world. So apparently they're going to give what 90 cents on the dollar. They're going to give the money back.
They're gonna. But still, you're losing 10%, and still, that's a lot of money.
That's not bad considering these things take 10% hits every single. That's like the difference.
Yeah,
but still, I want to know where they're getting that money. Where are they getting that money?
I don't know if Coinbase can make $1 billion, in a year.
Well,
God knows.
Did they make $1 billion? Was that the revenue?
Yeah, that was revenue actually. So wow. God knows where the hell this money is coming from, but. It's, I'm more interested in this to see the development and team response to these type of hacks, right? Because it's not in this case, it's not the coin's fault. It is the centralized.
Not the coin's fault.
It's
okay,
a
guys.
centralized entity behind it that didn't do the proper precautions.
Yeah.
And there's risk to this. So they say
But then you're taking, so many of those coins out of circulation, which could be a good thing. I mean, you think about it, a lot of Bitcoins are out of circulation.
I mean, yeah, that we know of. It's just pretty interesting, and yeah, I just hope a hard fork. I don't think a hard fork's going to happen. If it does, I'm not, I'm kind of jumped out the them bandwagon.
I think they've already said they're not going to do the hard fork. So, as far as what I've heard, but if you take a look at the chart here, just to kind of show what actually happened, there was a lot of trading opportunity. And just in the future, these are things you guys can be thinking about when you see news flashes come across like this. There was I want to say it was over a 20 or 30%. There was a drop initially, and then we had the follow-up pop. So here's the drop on the announcement that they had been hacked. And it's funny because there was actually a nice pop right before that. Pop, drop, they've been hacked. Everyone's scared. They think that all this NEM disappeared. It was like $450 million worth of NEM.
Yeah, so this stuff's going to happen. Also, 2002 said best exchange next to Binance, in your opinion. This is always going to change. I like Robinhood. I like... what was it? I like Bitrex, but honestly, Bitrex is pretty much impossible to get into. Oh, by the way, Bitrex just had an update for people that don't know. Now you have to actually sign a form, to sign out to try to apply to get in, because I don't know, Bitrex is getting hit, so much, so many new users.
So you got to be rich enough to have a fax machine.
Maybe I should just sell my Bitrex account, honestly. So, yeah. So I don't know. I just strictly trade on Binance. For these smaller coins that I think they have potential, I'm trying to hodl them. I just don't keep them on the exchange. So there's.
What do you think is the best super altcoin broker?
Oh, broker
or exchange?
There's okay,
the ones that you get the weird
Populous,
coins
right? I think Populous for the longest time was only trade on Ether Delta.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so those are the ones for your ERC20 tokens. Things are based off Ethereum, new ones if you want to look into that, Ether Delta. But you have to be very careful in Ether Delta because it's a lot less professional and none of it's basically made for user friendliness.
It's not very secure.
Raw. It's just very raw. If I could say a word for you, for
Ether Delta raw dog in it.
Dangerous. Yeah. But no, yeah, that's good. I like Cryptopia is all right. My buddy uses that. But for me, for my usage, for my trading and stuff, I'm not interested in other exchanges for now until other new alternatives come out, because a lot of these old ones are going to be legacy exchanges. No one's going to be really using them unless they update, kind of like what happened with Poloniex. But Bitrex, Binance, and I have liquid.io, liqui.io, when I was in Black Moon Crypto, because that was one of the only exchanges to buy through, unless you want to buy through Bancor, which Bancor is another it's another coin. So Bancor has their own network where you could buy it through too, but I didn't bother going through that. I'd just rather sign for an exchange and just buy and just have it right there, But yeah, those are definitely my favorite options at the moment. I'm waiting to see Robinhood, if Robinhood could offer its a very good solution, and they keep listing new coins, then I'll probably move to that to move some funds out there.
So I wonder. I mean, I feel like they sell order flow. I really wonder what the revenue model is going to be when it comes to the cryptos on Robinhood.
I don't know. They're definitely mining it. They're definitely mining a lot of these coins. I don't know, through Ripple, they're just buying it outright. But it's very interesting to see, because all these exchanges make money off the fees.
So when an exchange initially comes on, in order to get those coins on the exchange, do they initially buy a supply to bring to market?
Yeah, so it depends. Every exchange is probably a little bit different, because there's different ways of approaching it. So in Robinhood's case, right, they could either look at it and they're like, all right, how we're going to approach this? Hey, let's just mine a ton and use what we mined. We just put a huge down payment down and buy somewhere in Greenland and just literally mine all the time, right, 24/7. Or they just have a certain amount saying, hey, look, this is how much money we can make if Coinbase's data is true or something like that. and they could run their numbers and say, hey, look, we list this many coins. These are probably the more popular ones because apparently they're not going to like a lot more smaller obscure coins. They're trying to be safe with your typical, Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that, Zcash. And and they probably just do a huge down payment and they buy a ton and they're going from there, because I bet you Robinhood, they're gonna play it safe. They're not gonna do what Mt. Gox did. So yeah, it's probably a combination of buying and mining. That's my thing. Buying and mining. Yeah, those are probably the most likely thing, because we'll see. We'll see definitely, because I gotta see how the actual exchange looks when it comes out, like how the price movement stuff. Is there extreme arbitrage compared to other exchanges? I don't think so. I just think this is better overall, because Coinbase will not be the only singular entity basically that you could buy through, which will be good.
Yeah, you got to bring competition in the market. Coinbase's fees are outrageous.
But also this changes the meta of the market, right? Yeah. So now it's like every coin
that's the next meta move. Well, that's the next meta move.
Yes. So I'm saying coins like, let's say, like Bitcoin Cash dropping on Coinbase made it go up like what, double basically, right? Those type of movements will have less and less of an impact as more entryways, because like
the diminishing
bottleneck,
it's
a bottleneck. The bottleneck is
diminishing
expanding.
Marginal return.
Exactly, because we're maturing as a market.
We're maturing as a market, and there's not as many newer players interested in. Really, there's going to be people who are going to continue to be more and more interested in crypto, but really everybody who's interested in and is going to be big going forward is probably already in it right now. Unless you start getting like,
we'll see. I think, who knows? Maybe the success of a lot of these companies that move who knows? Maybe Kodak, right, will make the biggest comeback, right?
Well, Kodak licensed out their name. They technically didn't even get involved in crypto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they actually just licensed out their name, and then the SEC has come down the SEC came out.
Well, they've been doing that. Well, they warned a lot of things.
Well, they've warned specifically, like, if you change your name to blockchain and you have no history of being involved in blockchain, literally to create speculation in your stock, you will be scrutinized. And I mean, that's what happened with Kodak. Didn't really do that because Kodak licensed out their name, and it actually, they don't have anything to do with the blockchain.
Well, I'm talking about strictly from success of cryptocurrency. So if you have, for example, right, an older company that's kind of fallen out of the limelight due to not adapting to modern technology, et cetera, right? It's going to happen.
Let's name a few. Xerox.
Yeah.
Palm.
I mean, but no, Xerox was big. Xerox actually.
How about Palm Coin?
Well, Palm
Remember
got
the
bought
Palm?
out. Well, Palm got bought out. Palm got bought out by Apple, I believe.
Really? I didn't know that.
Or did they get bought out from Apple? Or one of their
Probably IBM.
One of their lead technological engineers left to Apple, or they might have sold them like their Palm, because it was a Palm Pre.
Does anybody have a Motorola phone?
I mean, my last Motorola.
These are the tech companies that can make a comeback. I'm trying to think. Sears, Roebuck.
I'm talking about some, like, the reason why I thought Kodak was great, even though their intention of using blockchain maybe would just be like, pumping their stocks, price. But for me, it's like, okay, think about this, right? A huge problem with something like Instagram, right? Instagram, you post your photos, but under the licensing agreement, you kind of don't own it, right? It's always that little bit of legality. You post content onto a website, they own the content, right? So something like Kodak, if the incentive was there, they could create a cool looking UI and social media type of thing, and say, hey, look, you're a photographer, you're an artist, whatever you post on here is yours, not ours. That's very
okay. I like that.
So yeah, I'm trying to say, like, these older companies that they have a usage like that with like content and ownership, then that could be a great alternative for blockchain, and other companies could see that,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
so that's actually, I just want to, Terrence brought up something really interesting here. Visa, and I don't know if this is true, you see if you can pull up an article on this, but Visa is actually just changed all Coinbase transactions on a credit card into cash advance transfers. So if you're using a credit card, that means there's huge APR on top of 4% fee. So they're hitting you with a 4% fee, and they're charging you automatic APR on it, like month over month APR.
Yeah, I see that. It was the Merkle just posted it on the 26th. Okay, I was expecting this to happen sooner or later, to be honest with you. It's kind of like these cards are lashing back because they know they're on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Not as quick as other things.
It's a competitive move.
Exactly. You know, they're like, hey, look, we're not going to be.
That's a bullish move. I'm bullish that move. Meaning.
What, for Visa?
No, for the crypto market.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But you think about
they're
this.
On the defense.
They're on the defense. And if you have to show your hand like that, and typically in art, I mean, the art of war and other, you know, and other war philosophy, if you're looking at competition, if you show your hand like that, you're not coming from a position of strength. And the thing with Visa is, yeah, they're just pretty much obsolete, you know? I mean, it's going to be a while for everyone to like lose that mentality of here's a card and you swipe it or you chip it and here, and there's a transaction. Like people already have been primed to not use their cards at the same time, like Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, they know they're pretty much done. You know, like they've had their time, they made their money, but the Stripe
made a lot of money.
Hey, you know what? The Stripe's already obsolete. So like, screw, let's throw a chip in there. And now this chip's obsolete after like a couple of years of usage. Because why not? Everyone has basically a device in their pockets.
That can't be counterfeited. Technically, I don't think there's any counterfeiting with Apple. I guess if you put the credit card information on your phone.
I mean, no, yeah, Apple has that, and other people do have that.
I never use Apple
But I'm
Pay.
saying, what's the point of even having, like, you know, credit card information like that if everything's blockchain? You know, you don't have that repetitive nature. It's all linked, depending on which crypto is used at that point in time.
That's going to be the true breakthrough. I don't know.
I mean,
that's
once again, we don't know. Some countries might just go with whatever. Other countries, I think the U.S., they're not going to give up that easily. If we phase out the U.S. dollar, we're probably going to move into a U.S. dollar coin, right? 1-to-1.
They call it Lady Liberty.
Something, yeah. There you go.
The Lady Liberty.
Go email Trump or something or tweet at him. Send a DM.
Sacagawatcha coin 2.0.
There you go.
You have any Sacagawatchas?
Maybe like 1 or 2. And like
keep 5 in my car. Just in
luck.
case. Need a buck. Got a Sacagawatcha.
You got 5? You got 5 on it?
I'm totally murdering that name.
That's awesome. But yeah. Yeah, so that's just my perspective on it, you know? Like once these like Visa, MasterCard, they're players of the past, you know? Like another reason. Okay, think about this, right? The whole 10X thing, right? When we're talking about 10X, how 10X, their partner kind of just abandoned them. Right, so basically everyone that was using 10X in Europe,
10X was like a PayPal credit card type,
exactly,
crypto,
and they got kind of shafted, right, by their partners. So there's been kind of uncertainty with something like 10X, and that was a prelude to this, you know. So we're seeing the trend that as the past couple months, people in Ripple and centralized coins came up, right, because that was a trend. Centralized coins like Ripple and Stellar have come up. Now you're seeing like the bigger players in the actual hardware side, like Visa, MasterCard, you know, kind of doing their own thing too.
So did you hear that Ripple, when that Japanese exchange got hacked and then was pulled out, that Ripple actually moved their assets out of?
Interesting.
I read something about that. There was just, because it was like $70-some million of Ripple was moved out of that, and
they could do it too because they're quicker.
Yeah, and because
it's
centralized. So they actually there wasn't any announcement made as far as I heard, but the account that all that Ripple was moved into had a large holding, like, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars. So they actually suspected, which I actually like, that Ripple was like, holy shit, you guys just got hacked. We're pulling all of our coins. I mean, that is one of the benefits of those centralized coins.
Yeah, because they have an entity behind it. Who's going to do that with Bitcoin? No one can do that.
Nobody. It's not possible.
Yeah. So to me, the best solution, and I think the solution will get there, that these exchanges are just going to be decentralized. The technology is getting there, atomic swap capability, et cetera, et cetera. These small things are going to happen. I mean, they're not small. 500 million is not smaller, but these instances will start happening more and more, and as humans, we'll just figure out solutions for them.
500 million.
Code could fix it.
I want to be a pipsqueak.
Hey, I'm a firm believer. Code could fix it. Code could fix it.
I thought you said Coke could fix it.
No. That's Wall Street. Code can fix it. You know,
like what?
Yeah, I think economists have been running the show for too long. Let programmers and engineers take it over.
Absolutely, you know? We're gonna be voting with codes in the future. There'll be no more election hacks. I mean, I'm long blockchain voting.
But
I want to be into that.
I got news for you then, Jack.
Tell me about it.
And it actually leads us to our next coin, which is IOTA.
Let's do it.
So you want to pull up the chart for IOTA and tell us what's going on with that?
So IOTA is still, right now, it's just in a triangle formation with support at, this is IOTA to BTC. Go 3 decimals over, and we're looking at 21.26 on the support chart. This thing has just been in a sideways channel for a very long time. I'm not interested in this unless it's just not uptrending. And, I mean, great hodl, hasn't really broken through these lows. It is consistently holding that 21.26 level. However, if you're looking for a quick buck, I would look elsewhere because as of right now, it just continues to make lower lows and lower highs with the same bottom. This is a great support trade where you can buy and continue to buy this level, and we're getting moves off of it. I mean, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These moves, though, are getting smaller. If you look back to the first time we traded this level, great move higher. Second time, little, still a decent move higher. And then now these moves are getting smaller and smaller. So we're having less of a reaction off this 21.26 support level in IOTA BTC. So for me, it's not trending as good as something like Ethereum is, or Neo is still trending higher because they have new highs in the weekly. They've taken out those end of December highs. If any coin at this point in time that has not taken out its end of the year high, I would stay away from the long side currently. And the end of the year high in, let me see, where is it? This is an hourly chart. It's like all the way back here. Yeah, the end of the year high is much higher here. So really focus on coins that are they're at highs of the year. They're taking out highs of the year. But yeah, anyways, go ahead and talk about what you got going on.
So basically, the big news with IOTA is Taipei, the actual city of Taipei, which is in Taiwan. Partners with IOTA to become a blockchain-powered smart city. Now, the whole smart city thing, I've been looking into that because I think smart cities and things that do like administration, administration, that's like the best overall term I could use for these actual cities. And most of this coming out of Asia is one of the best applications for blockchain. For instance, I was talking about VeChain before, and I don't want to keep bringing up VeChain, but VeChain,
you love it. You can talk about it all you want.
Exactly.
It's like bringing up your kid. I don't want to bring up my kid, but she's doing well.
Yeah, but VeChain actually in their white paper listed that there was a city in South China that's going to be run on VeChain for administration. So this is
holy smokes.
Yeah, it was in their white paper. This was before. This was written like, I don't know, what was it back in
Did they
June?
name the city?
Yeah, I can't.
Some obscure city.
Yeah, so they do have a city that they're saying, hey, VeChain is going to work with it. So for me, it's like, okay, that's awesome. If you look at Neo, right? Because Neo, we're going to look up Neo after IOTA. But I want to say Neo is trying to create the world into a smart economy. So basically, they're trying to digitize every asset on the planet. So for me, that's extremely bullish. And all these type of cryptos are focusing for that. The way they're being implemented, they're being implemented in Asia.
I gotta disappear for a moment.
Yeah,
my computer's not plugged in. It's gonna die. Oh wait. Oh, there we go.
There you go. So yeah, those are the type of coins I'm extremely bullish on, because once you have coins that do administration and voting and stuff like that, that's when I feel like those are gonna be the valuable coins.
Absolutely. Oh man.
Because it's like the gravity of that,
If we could somehow eliminate government corrupt.
Can I read this entire article?
Yes.
It's not that long of an article.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just highlight for everybody right here. Okay. Not good of a highlight, but we'll roll with it. Taipei, Taiwan is seeking to become a smart city by utilizing the power of distributed ledger technology, DLT, or blockchain. It's arguable if actually IOTA is a blockchain because how their Tangle network works, but that's a completely different issue. Or a completely different subject, but we'll roll with it. The city has chosen to partner with IOTA, the investors of the so-called Tangle technology, which is their version of the blockchain, for the Internet of Things. Basically, the Internet of Things is basically like an expanding directory of assets and just information to provide a number of new technological features for residents. Wai Bin Lee, the commissioner of the Department of Information Technology and Taipei city government, suggested in an official press release that the unique technology offered by IOTA will usher in a new era of smart cities for the citizens of Taipei. The first project on the docket is the creation of citizen ID cards built on the Tangle technology, called Tangle ID cards. The creation is designed to eliminate risk of identity theft and voter fraud, while at the same time providing a simple means for tracking health history and other data for government-related services. The company is already working on a side project for the city to create a palm-sized card and with sensors that would detect light, temperature, humidity, and pollution. The design is intended to give the citizens of Taipei up-to-date information about pollution levels in real time. IOTA Foundation co-founder David sees the adoption as a massive step forward, noting that the technology is ready for real-world use cases and is more than just a theory. So, yeah, I mean,
wow.
If it could do that, that's awesome. IOTA's got their own issues, but once again, this is another case kind of like Ethereum. The project's too big to fail. I hate to sound like freaking like the government right now, but who knows? Maybe they'll switch it to a different blockchain down the line if IOTA cannot perform. But that's a lot of things. You got voting in there, voter fraud.
Well, if they can just prove that concept in one small city.
Oh yeah.
All they have to do is prove the concept. I think there'd be a lot of people who open-minded governments, which nobody has, but there's no such thing as an open-minded government. But for those who are, it would be a great opportunity for things to move forward.
Hey,
it's giving me hope.
Well, Russia have said that too. Russia said they wanted to have blockchain in their voting somehow. Russia.
Yeah,
also,
until they realize it works, and they're like, guys, we gotta nix this.
Yeah.
Putin needs another 4 years.
Yeah, I think they'll vote for Putin. I think they'll like him right now. So who knows? Might be an FDR type of thing for Russia, but we'll see. So let me just talk about Russia real quick too, because this is like big in the world of regulation. There's two things actually. So first we'll go into Russia's largest state bank to open cryptocurrency exchange in Europe. Not gonna read this full article, but basically this is big. Sberbank, the largest state bank in Russia, is planning to launch a cryptocurrency exchange in its Swiss branch. Sberbank Switzerland AG local media group RBC reported on January 30th yesterday. So basically this is big. You have a lot of nations now, especially in Eastern Europe, that wants to work with Russia on the One Belt One Road with Russia and China. Mm-hmm. They're going to need funding. They're going to need a bank. They're putting in Switzerland because if the EU falls apart, which is a possibility.
Yeah.
Switzerland will be neutral as always, and nations
we come in peace.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, more institutional money flooding into cryptos. This is very bullish. I like it. It's not a coincidence.
So do you think some of the institutional money that's flowing into cryptos is not necessarily inside of the coins, but just inside of the space, which is good for the space in general?
Infrastructure.
Yeah, because it's not just the money actually getting pumped into the coins. It's the money that's coming into the planning that surrounds what these coins can possibly do, exactly. What the blockchain can do, which eventually will be good for crypto. And then this whole thing is just going to become one giant.
I don't think all the current financial systems we have is going to disappear overnight, but like crypto is going to be a new
5
foundation. I'm telling you, I'll tell you why right now, and everyone on camera could see me. They could quote me, whatever. The reason why I think this next revolution of financial and tech overall is going to be quick, 5 to 10 years. I'll tell you why. Because software is extremely malleable. It's not like hardware. When you build this mic or this computer, it's a slower process because you need physical material to put it together, retest it, etc., rinse, wash, repeat. Software is extremely malleable. You could recode it, you could copy it, et cetera, at a much faster rate than hardware can. And all of this is software for the most part, besides the whole mining thing. Once again, there's another article here. We could talk about Samsung. It reportedly is going to make ASIC chips for China for mining. They're literally going to go forth and then push very hard. So from my perspective, the way our financial system is now, and we need an update to our financial system. It's been running on the same foundation for years now. Overall, there's some little things like high frequency trading, et cetera, but crypto, because of its software nature, it's all software. I think that'll make the evolution of it very fast. That's why you see coins go in and out of style so quickly, because they keep getting outdated every other day. That's my perspective on it. But yeah, so that's also big news that Samsung is going to be building. They already build chips, but they're focusing. I think they're trying in the cryptocurrency sector, which would be interesting. That down the line you have a Galaxy phone that has a chip in it to mine, which could be very interesting too. Wow. Or they could create a specific chip like NFC that you could transfer cryptos with. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So
the NFC would be cool.
Yeah, so we'll see. So our last coin, I believe, is Neo.
Well, let's cut it to the coin because we are running to the top of the hour, and just do a quick rundown. If anybody wants to fire off a couple of coins, couple of questions, we're gonna go question round and then wrap up tonight. Thank you guys obviously for attending. First off. go ahead and smash that like button for me.
Or that subscribe button.
And both. I'm sure that most people here have subscribed, but just smash that like button for me. Appreciate that. Boost us up in the rankings. And if anybody has any questions on coins, anything in general.
I know I spoke a lot the last like 5-10 minutes. So if you guys didn't like understand everything, feel free to comment. I'll try to elaborate on it more.
LTC chart.
Yeah, pull it.
You are the winner. LTC USD.
Yeah, Ryblox. Ryblox just got listed to
the Charlie Lee high still exists, Crypto Dan. So, as I've been saying for months, actually not months, like a month. Those Charlie Lee highs are pretty significant. This chart, it's dead to me.
Yeah, Ryblox did.
Unfortunately, I do think Litecoin is going to continue to trend down, and really the next place I'm interested in, and it's at the $100 level.
Yeah, Ryblox did like die though. It rebranded to Nano. By the way, Ryblox.
Oh, Ryblox.
Yeah, so it's XRB is still the ticker, but it's called Nano now. It went up 25% today.
BTC XRB.
Yeah, I mean that's rebranding.
That's what I'm talking about.
You see,
where they rebranded, and
that's the huge thing. When you rebrand, that's always bullish, man. I'm telling you.
I don't even know if
it's a soft.
Is it on TradingView?
Let me see here.
XRB.
No, it isn't because you don't have any major coins yet listing it.
Can't help you.
Yeah, sorry. Just TradingView, our current software, just cannot pull up charts. That's why I haven't really been talking about Ryblox either, because I try to choose coins that are that could be charted. Exactly. So yeah,
I know there's other ways out there, but for ease of use, we try to use one charting software.
Of course. Yeah, and I'm always good for rebranding, unless it's Bitcoin trying to be Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, BitConnect trying to be BitConnect X. But yeah, we're expecting a lot of other rebranding soon of other coins, and those could be potential trades right there. VeChain coming up early next month, I believe, and there's several others that are coming up. Okay, Chief Armament Group said, why doesn't Tron TRX just go the way of the dinosaur? How are they still so high in market cap? Binance connection? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know exactly what the circumstances are. As of right now, if we look, where's Tron at right now? Yeah, it's number 14 on market cap. With a $3.7 billion market cap, and it's currently at close to like 5 to 6 cent range. Here's the thing about Tron. Let me click on them on CoinMarketCap. There's a lot of partnerships going on with Tron. Yes, this type of coin, right, that's been hyped up, it's already sold off a lot. If you look at the chart down, you want to pull up Tron really quickly, Jack, so we can talk about Tron. Yeah, let's pull the chart, see what's going on with Tron. Yeah, apparently there's white paper fraud within it with Justin Sun and all of that.
Whose son?
Justin Sun, the creator. But yeah, it's something like that. Where Tron will fall off a market cap is when it shows it cannot perform to what it does, then people will drop it. It's so early in the game in cryptos, so you have coins like Tron that they'll pump because of hype and they'll sell off, and people will still keep interest because they're still announcing partnerships. I wish there was an
easy way to short this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be the first to cover that, and we'll be the first to cover that once it does come as an option, because there's a lot of money to be made if you know how to short things too. But yeah, Tron, we just need to look at, basically there's two things. We can look at the charts, and then we can look at what's actually going on. If Tron messes up, if they don't deliver what they promised, this coin will be gone. But until then, it's still going to be in a descending. I still think while I'm looking at Tron right now, it's still in a strong downtrend. It's dropping in market cap. It's still up there at being number 14. But
this is number 14.
Yeah.
It
was up to number 6.
Okay, the charting data only goes back to the 24th of January. Is that because that's the first time it was on Binance?
Yeah. That's when it dropped on Binance. Oh, 24th of December?
January.
No. It's been there for longer than a week. I don't know why. Yeah,
that's as far as the charting data goes. So I don't know.
Oh no, that's the dollar. So look it up in Bitcoin. So they probably just added that recently to USDT.
Okay, I was like, what is going on here? Maybe BT. No.
That's extremely odd. Oh, you're still in 1 week candles.
I am sleeping in my head. Okay, that makes sense.
At first, I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, hey,
no, these are 1 day candles.
Are they 1 day?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I don't know. Can't.
I don't know why that's going on right now. That's a glitch. But yeah, it's something like Tron not going to do too well in the long term unless, who knows. At the same time, though, if you're looking at a pragmatic standpoint, who cares if Tron's not the best if all these companies sign with it or partner with it? As long as companies partner with it and they're profitable, it'll add more validity to coin. But yes, it's not my favorite out there.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
That's it here, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in on Wednesdays. We'll see you next Wednesday at youtube.com/Major League Crypto /live.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. So thank you for your time here tonight. Hopefully we got some questions cleared up, provided some valuable insight, and always feel free to send your feedback either in the comments below or shoot us an email at support@majorleaguecrypto.com.
We want to keep improving this show and keep moving forward.
Making sure you guys come back. So tell us what you want because we're here for you guys. Take care and enjoy your day.